Hi, my name is Brian, and I want to welcome everyone back to our channel. If this is your first visit, why don't you sit back, relax, and join us for a ride? It's 70 degrees on a Thursday afternoon with cloudy skies, and we're about a mile and a half upstream from the Box Canyon staging area here on the Hassayampa River. The ride we're on starts about 5 miles from Wickenburg as an Arizona vulture flies. That grinding sound you're hearing is my rock sliders doing what they're paid to do. Rich, Scott, and myself decided to take this trail over to the Blue Tank off of Blue Tank Road. I remember seeing this trail called Shortcut to Blue Tank. I just don't remember where I saw it. All I'm saying is that at least this trail has a name. It's called Shortcut to Blue Tank. On this trail, I'd say it's about 5 miles to get from here to the Blue Tank. It starts with a steep climb and then leads into a scenic ridge ride. Yeah, you can hear me feathering the throttle, trying not to bounce off the bumps on the steepest part of this trail. The first part of this ride always gets my heart a-pumping. I'm just curious to find out how eroded the trail has become this year. The four-door Ranger 1500 is in sport mode as we make the climb up the hill. For a farm vehicle, it not only has room for my 6-foot, 5-inch, 260-pound frame, it also has room for 3 more adults and our 2 small dogs, Zoe and Shelby. With power windows and a pressurized cabin, the dust and noise stays out, allowing the occupants to enjoy a conversation during the ride without having to wear headphones with a microphone. Just after I purchased the vehicle, I added 32-inch tires with beadlock rims to razor up and rock sliders from Bent and Twisted that slipped right into place during installation. Rock protection and ground clearance is all the insurance I need to pass through the obstacles on the trails I ride. It's now time for the Rock of the Day. I gather this Arizona beauty off the ground from the overburden of an abandoned mine. I chose this one to highlight today because it reminds me of the colors of the trail we're on. This rock may not have the strangest of shapes, but it sure has some crazy colors. If you're trying to find cool rocks like this, join up with your local rock and mineral club. Here in Wickenburg, during the fall, winter, and spring months, we regularly go on field trips to locations scouted out by other members that are known to have rich deposits, in this case, jasper outcroppings, on BLM land that's free for the folks looking to collect such specimens. The ranger we're riding on the trail today also doubles as our furry four-legged ferry. It's the vehicle we use to ferry him to the groomer, to the vet, and to the DOG park. It's also Debbie's grocery getter. Come to think of it, if it weren't for our first set of pups, we wouldn't be here. Allow me to explain how we came about founding a pet door business in our basement. It all started with a pair of pocket puppies. Well over 20 years ago, my wife Deb was working full-time as an accountant. I myself, a home health care employee. We were empty nesters. My job delivering medical equipment opened the doors of many households in the mid-Michigan area. I came home one evening with a puppy in my pocket from the litter at my last stop. One pup led to two, to help with the loneliness as our days at work were long. We had heard a pet door would eliminate the accidents in the house and add to their outdoor activities. So off to the pet store I go, buying a plastic flat pet door. I still remember the hassle of the installation. The house I owned, I bought for $1. It was built back in the 30s with wood recovered from older houses, hence the reason for the degree of difficulty. The pet door was installed around fall and opened out to an elevated covered porch. After that, we came home to a pair of mutts that were way calmer. Jessie and Jody were not so wound up. Those girls were just genuinely happier. Life was good for a month or two, and then winter literally blew in. The plastic flap curled in the cold, and I mean the colder it got, the tighter the flap curled. One morning, the wind blowing at the pet door blew snow in the form of a drift inside the house. It was right about that time I started thinking hard about solving this problem. Working at the home healthcare company wasn't for me, so I quit and went back to work, working for a commercial industrial roofing company. Still thinking about the pet door problem, I found myself dumpster diving for scraps and materials used to make the new roofs. I found the reinforced TPO to be a fine material to make a pet door with. I remember another scrap of material I found around that time that came from remodeling our house. It was a particular brand of carpet underlayment. It wasn't until after I got myself fired from the roofing company that I had the big idea. Oh, and by the way, Norm, the owner of the roofing company, and I are still good friends to this day. I was hauling Michigan sugar over to the East Coast when one night about 3 in the morning, still thinking about the pet door problem, and more specifically how the flap system would be assembled, a flash of light lit up my cranium. I'm a bit dyslexic, and I think due to that, seeing or picturing in my head the idea in a negative image helped me to solve all the issues I was pondering. When I wasn't driving, I was down in the basement developing design after redesign, learning what worked and didn't work with the materials I gathered. Soon after, I installed our first homemade pet door. I'll be the first to admit it was crude looking, with the magnet stapled in place, no way to lock it, and the canvas used on the flaps today wasn't even thought of yet. It definitely looked like a Frankenstein job. Over time, as the design was cleaned up and developed out, that's when it occurred to me. I wondered if others would appreciate the seal the flap system made. I went to the library to use a computer to see what was for sale on the world market and learn how big the market was. Not seeing anything on the market like the design I was working on, I was encouraged to get a patent. Then I thought I could sell the patent for a bunch of money because I had no prior experience developing a manufacturing business, and I still didn't know how big the market was. With a provisional patent and questions about the magnet components, I went to the local university to get answers. The dean was alerted to my queries and asked me to stop by his office. I was nervous and quiet, allowing him time to evaluate the pet door project. I was really curious as to what he thought of it. I remember him saying it was a very, very good idea. Because I had a provisional patent, he could help me. Boy, did I feel Adam Smith's invisible hand on my back that day. With all this happening, I went for a walk on the railroad tracks behind the house to clear my head, make the decision to begin manufacturing or step back and call it a pipe dream. I mean, seriously, to go all in with our life savings and a new mortgage on the house, chase a dream or quit now and count our losses. With my wife Deb in agreement, I started making more space in our 28 by 30 foot basement to make room for more benches to work from. Deb bought our first home PC. That's the story of how the pet door idea officially became a business. On this ride up to the Blue Tank, bear left at the forks on the trail. Once you get to Blue Tank Road, taking a right takes you back to the Rincon Road. Taking a left takes you to Sophie Flats, a camping area with outdoor bathrooms. Further on down Blue Tank Road leads you to Constellation Road. Rincon and Constellation both lead back to Wickenburg. After the ride, Scott, Rich, and myself stopped for a freshly brewed beer at the Vulture Peak Brewing Company, where they had a view of the ride we were on. We're pulling over to hydrate, stretch a leg, and wrap up filming for today. The trail has become rougher since I was on it last. Chalk another trail ride up to erosion. I do hope everyone who joined us for this ride today had as much fun as we did. I'd also like to mention this video is supported by people like you. If you like what you're seeing, you know what to do.